Here we go. First real session of Guess the Elo by me. Um, Last time was a test run. You can see the results of last time in the spreadsheet window there. Um, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, what do we have here? Um, we have E4. Go ahead and forward E4, D6, D4, D5, knight C3, pawn, knight takes, knight up, bishop pins, bishop block, bishop take. Okay, and then bishop takes, and knight out, knight to D7. Okay, this is all theory so far. Queen to D2. Wow, C5. What is that? I guess you're going for this pawn, but I don't know. That just doesn't seem that good to me. Okay, Queen's Castle and King's Castle. Wow. H4. Okay, you're trying to launch a queenside attack. Um, dude, yeah. All right. So we can take this pawn and oh, we can take this pawn because if you take with the knight, then we can take this pawn and then uh kick the knight away and maybe pin the queen. All right, what did they do? Yeah, they took it and then okay. So G4. Wow. Knight E5 to attack the pawn, I guess. The pawn can just move forward though. Oh, well, I guess it forks the pawn and knight, so you have to trade, and then the bishop comes here. Um, hmm. But then the pawn can still move forward, and white's got nice attacking ideas down these files. Down these files. Okay. And then knight take, bishop, queen take, knight take, queen. Huh. Yeah, okay. I don't really like black's position here because we've got most of their pieces on the back rank, and the queen is up. Black has or sorry, white has a nice attack going and has better development. But then white plays this bishop move here. Um, I'm not quite sure what that actually does. Really, I think what white should do is either take the pawn that like recapture or play f4. Now, computer doesn't like f4. Computer doesn't like f4. I guess because I mean this attacks the rook, but you can just move the bishop here. Oh, wow. Okay. So that's why the computer doesn't like f4 because there's a fork here. Okay. So computer's top move is rook h3. Second best is uh queen takes d4, and third is bg2. All developing. Rook moves up to go over here, and then this is just a take back of a pawn. All right, but white goes here, and black develops their bishop. White goes here, disconnecting the battery here. So first they played bishop to block the battery, and then they destroyed it entirely. Okay. I mean, I get that it attacked the queen, but like, queen will just move. Um, okay. So we got queen d6, h5. Okay, white is going on the attack, sure. Now, what black should do here is probably, uh, like, if h6 ever comes, black can play g6, and if g5, we got, um, we can still play g6. No, ah, okay. We can still play g6, and if h5, we have to be careful not to let the queen in here, but the queen's never going in there. If Oh, and we can just play e5 to protect that rank, and that's actually the ancient's top move too. E5. Is that what was played in the game? No. Okay. Um, so they played the third best move. here. And then rook up. Why are you putting your rook there? Are you planning on moving the pawn and attacking this? Well, that's an interesting tactic actually. If you move the pawn, you can actually just take it, because of you don't even have to move the bishop first, because after queen takes, bishop takes pawn, that's a free queen. So you get the queen for a bishop and rook. Um, but still, like, why are you putting your rook there? All right, now we play e5 and g5. Interesting. G6 is a mistake. The computer is wanting f5, and if takes en passant, you can take back with the queen or the rook. Um, and I guess push, if g6, yeah, there's h6, and black is completely safe. Yeah, wow. I definitely would have played g6 in this situation, so that's good to know. Um, okay, so they play g6, and instead of opening the file like a normal person with h takes g6, you push the other pawn, okay? What is black so afraid of this pawn push that, oh, I see. Wait, it's attacked twice, which is why they played rook here. Why is the computer saying that's the best move then? Okay, so we say this, and now we put the rook here, and if take, 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 wow, queen takes, not even f takes. Okay, any human here I think would play f takes. Oh, but then there's this, and it becomes kind of difficult to get out of it. Use that pawn. Wow. Okay, so you play queen take to prevent this threat, and then what? Queen goes here trying to get in there, but that's protected. Isn't black just down a... Oh, wow. Okay. So black is up a pawn here, which is why this is okay, I guess. Um, yeah, I don't think that's a very human move. Uh, stacking a pawn here to get a bunch of exchanges. I guess white attack here is just too powerful. So trading down makes the attack sort of butter out. But okay. Um, Black puts a rook here, which if you're gonna move a rook, you should move that one there. You should do this, not this, because now this rook is just sad. It is so sad. Stuck in a corner by itself. Um, okay. Pawn forward, white continues the attack, and now black is better. Now, black is better because of this pawn push, which is why black put the rook here. What white should have done is just take here, put the rook here, go after this pawn. What? Why wouldn't you just push the pawn? That's that's why you put the rook here. Why would you do this? Why would you do this? Um, okay. So white pushes here, and black does rook e7. And now, after pawn takes, pawn takes, pawn takes, pawn takes, this this attack is unstoppable pretty much. So the king has to move, and then you do rook here, and if king goes back, then you trade the rook, and, and if you trade the rook, it's mate and eight. Wow, that's incredible. Have to go there. The computer is so stupid. Okay, so and okay, why would you push when your attack relies on opening up the king? I see rook, I hit rook, um, even though it can move away. Like, what is this? You, okay, so this move right here is giving me the game has been pretty good up until now. So this this move is giving me like 1,600 ideas. All right, so pawn push. Now the rook moves up. That's actually the move I would do, but there's this, I guess. Um, no, the computer is just saying to open up this file and start an attack down the H file, which rook d7 somehow prevents. Uh, I'm not I'm not sure why. This is like computer level stuff. Um, Rook e6 looks fine to me. Okay, now white take and black takes back. A rook sack. Huh. Now, if you take, what happens? You can bring the queen over. The king has to go back. You can't actually bring the other rook over, though, because the bishop guards that square. Um, so the king goes back, and I think you take the pawn with the bishop, threatening mate in one that way. And then you probably have to sack the exchange. But that's still, they've sacked a rook, so that's still up material. Um, After bishop takes, king takes, then the queen can come in, and this kid, this can get kind of scary for black. The king goes back here, or maybe, yeah, yeah. King goes back here, and the queen then jumps in here. The king goes over here. The king does escape, but it's still very iffy for black. Um, okay, so king takes, queen there. What? What? Why? What? Uh, what? Why? Why wouldn't you just take the pawn? Threaten mate in one. What does this do? You're not gonna take with the queen because the I mean you could I guess uh but like actually is that white's idea? Take the pawn with the queen, king comes over, queen comes over, moves back over and mate. How does black defend this? No, that doesn't work. Rook here. Do you still have to sack? Oh, that's how. Interesting. Okay, so yeah, best move according to the computer. Very nice. So you counter sack, and black is doing fine here until they take with the queen. Apparently, you're not supposed to take with the queen. I would take with the queen because you have a battery. Um, but what what is wrong with queen take? Bishop check. Oh, bishop check. And if you move, and you have to block with the rook because the queen guards the rest of the squares, and so you just lose the exchange. Whereas before, if you take with the rook, you still get this, but now you have bishop block because the queen is there. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, this is definitely helping my understanding of chess, along with it just being fun. Oh wow. Look how savage the computer is. Rook h1. You can't take the rook because the bishop uh pins the bishop to the king. And you don't want to take with the bishop because of threats along the H file. Okay, so we have queen take, rook blocks, it's a forced move. What? Okay. You're trying to get the queen to move so that you can take this rook for free. Uh, but uh, how does black defend this? I think you probably just take the rook, and then after bishop takes, rook takes, and it's queen versus rook and bishop, and 5 pawns versus 3. That's that's an interesting endgame. Let's see if that happens. Yes. Okay. Very good. The rook here, queen takes, bishop takes, rook takes, king out, and bishop here to guard the pawn. Queen here to attack the bishop. Bishop back to get it out of the line of fire and guard guard it. Queen check, king f7, queen c7, king f6, queen d6, bishop block. Oh, but okay, but bishop keeps blocking, right? Yeah, and this may just be a draw. Okay, queen takes pawn, bishop, queen to attack his rook. Rook here. Queen takes. Bishop. Okay, now the material is starting to shift in white's favor. This is not an easy endgame. I'm kind of impressed at how well black is playing it. Oh wow, now these pawns start marching forward. Yikes. Okay, yeah, now it's part the computer is saying it's winning for white. This could be like, based on how this end game is going, this could be a game between two 2000s. But f6 was such a bad move. I don't understand. Okay, now queen takes pawn, and it's drawn again. Uh-oh. Oh, this pawn is going to promote. Now black is winning. Oh, now black is winning. Oh, interesting. This is a blunder, but this is the top engine move. I guess to go here and prevent a promotion. Oof. That is not easy. Oh, and black. Okay. Black needed to give a check. Either one of these is good. Um ah, because then the bishop's coming here, the pawn's going up, and then this is controlled. But if the queen had moved here to go on this diagonal, um, since the queen is here, the bishop can't move, it's pinned. And then next turn it's going there to secure that diagonal. Okay. So black takes a pawn, and it's drawn again. Okay, is this going to end by repetition? Not yet. Uh-oh. White's winning again because you just hung a pawn and then your rook. Oh no. Yeah. And that's how this game ends. Cool. And of course, black has to play a few more moves and loses the bishop. White and then loses the rook again. Fantastic. Oh my god. Black hangs all of their pieces in the endgame. Oh, they're both in time trouble though. That's probably why King G5 happened. Time trouble. I know I've definitely done stupid stuff in time trouble. Okay. So now it's time for the guess. Alright. So black played a really good endgame until they were in time trouble. Um, and actually did really well on time uh, for the endgame, too. They didn't do well on time before that uh, because it's like uh, 5 minutes to 2.5 here, and then at some point it's like 4-1. But like F6, it's not the end of the world. It's just like you made a plan to go attack the enemy's pawn structure, and then you just decided, nah, I'm gonna attack the rook. Ooh, squirrel, basically. That's a silly move. But the way black defended this endgame, this is not an easy endgame to defend. Um, and at one point, it's even better for black, slightly, according to computer. Um, and then they just hung all their pieces in time scramble. But it looks like, yeah, they were worse on time for the entire duration of the game. Ooh. So I'm thinking this this queen move also gives me information. I would just take the pawn immediately without thinking about it because it threatens mate in one. You have to sack the exchange, and it's just not good for black. And the queen move here, but spotting this rook sack is fantastic. I think they're probably 16, 1700 based on time usage. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. 2263. Are you kidding me? 2263? Nah. Wait. 2263, really? Playing f6? Oh my god. Well, that gives me hope for getting 2200 on Lichess sometime, at some point. Wow. 2263. Okay. Okay. 16 to 1700. Actual rating was 2263, and the identifier is here. Wow. I'll be honest, they probably played that end game like at 2200. I probably would have blundered a fork a lot faster in that end game. Um, so and spotting at rook takes f6 was fantastic. Um, okay, let's continue. Game two, let's go. Okay, so we have, okay, we've got it like a modern, except it's d4, c3, right, okay. These guys do not understand opening. Oh my, where is the knight going? Is the knight going here? Okay, so based on just this opening, I am thinking fairly low rated. Oh, what is that? Knight A5. Not only did you move the same piece twice in the opening, you stuck your knight on the edge of the board for no reason where it can get attacked. Oh my god, why do people do this? Are you afraid of C4? They were going to play C4, they would have done it already. Yeah, okay. And why just attack the knight? Okay. We're not going to defend that knight. We're going to take the center. Oh boy. And we're not that black's a genius because then they knew that white wasn't going to take that free knight and was instead going to hang a pawn. Wow. Okay. So I'm thinking 3 digits so far. And now we just play normally. And of course, black is like, yeah, I gotta fianchetto the bishops. Gotta fianchetto the bishops. That's the whole idea of this opening. Even though I just hung a knight move move 4. Okay. And why doesn't even take the pawn? Why doesn't even take the free pawn? Okay. Knight out. And are you also going to put this knight on the edge? No. Okay. Oh my God. Okay. So let's see. Bishop here. After pawn forward. Okay. What? That just hangs a pawn, and you could have played that at the beginning of the game. But waste the tempo and hangs a pawn, and black doesn't take it, of course. Black instead moves the bishop out, where it can just be hit with the pawn, and then moves it back where it can be trapped. Fantastic. Oh boy, this is gonna be great. And white does not play g4. White does not play g4. Instead, they attack the knight. Okay. And then it goes back. Oh no. Why would you do that? The knight can go here or here. Why would you undevelop a knight? That doesn't make any sense. No. And white just starts a pawn storm down the center with their king still in the middle of the board. F6. Oh no. I feel like black is just gonna get bulldozed here. Actually, with the way this game is going, it's likely black will win. F6. See, what white's supposed to do here is play E6 and just clamp down on the position. Then queen A4 is coming. Uh, bishop takes pawn. Bishop to G5 is coming, or B5 is coming. And you just get kind of unstoppable attack on the king. Um, but of course they didn't. They took the pawn because it's there. And no, we don't even move the knight back out. We instead open up the king, blocking our own knight from developing. Oh my! This is such a crazy game. Okay, so take. Wait, why is that? See, now white spots the trapped bishop, but it doesn't work for some reason. This pawn is hanging. Yeah, okay. So the computer wants bishop takes pawn, king, and then you're just gonna ignore the bishop, pretend like it doesn't exist, and the computer just wants to defend the pawn, b5. I'm not really sure what else that does. Why is that the top engine move? I think queen d6 is a more human move. Uh, and then you sort of get an attack going of your own. And if they take the bishop, then what? Why is this not losing for black? Is there like a forced draw here? First of all, oh, that's not a free pawn because this file is not opened up. Um, okay, knight here makes sense. Get the knight out. Um, and then here, long castle. And I guess the argument is that black just has uh, a really nice attack going, and white's pieces are poorly coordinated. And um, but I would definitely not guess that it was equal here. This looks, I mean, white's king is kind of exposed, but white is up a full piece. So I don't know. Okay, so okay, that what? That is the worst move I've ever seen. Nothing is protecting that bishop. They're just gonna take the bishop and then take the rook. What is that? Okay, so this game is chaotic enough that I'm thinking like, since this is Lichess and not just .com, where I'm thinking probably uh 700-800 so far. Um, and then king goes out that way, and bishop takes rook. Queen takes, queen checks because it's there, checks because it's there, checks because it's there. White goes back here, and white still has not taken this bishop. What? Are you trying to trade the queen? Is that what you're trying to do? But, dude, none of your pieces are developed. I mean, none of theirs are either, so you're almost certainly still winning, minus 4.65, but this queen is the most threatening queen of all time, and you're trading it with the queen in the corner. And white just hangs a queen in one move. So it turns out black's a genius. Of all the times you could have taken the bishop, now, really? Oh my god. And queen takes, of course. And then white continues like nothing happened. Okay. I don't hate that move. instead of long castling, you're leaving your king in the center of the board. Okay. I mean, you can do anything, pretty much anything now, right now, and it's not losing. So, yeah, queen takes pawn, bishop, queen check, knight e2, and at this point, we just calculate mate in 18 or something like that. Um, what? Oh, are you trying to put your rook up here and then really what you should be doing here is just getting the other knight out here and have it join the attack and then bring the rook out. Uh, your queen and rook alone aren't going to be able to bulldoze through three pieces. Okay, so queen here, bishop takes pawn, king up, bishop goes back, because why not? And now the computer is saying the best move is actually to put the queen back where it was. But yeah, I think knight h6 is probably the most human move here. Um, oh, they spotted it. Nice. Okay. I think that just yeah, it hangs mate in 2, but it's mate in like 12 anyway. So that that inaccuracy doesn't really mean anything. And let's see, mate in 2, yeah, you hang the knight um and then if you go here, it's checkmate this way. If you go here, it's check and mate. But it says mate in 2. But yeah, this is just mate if you take the knight. So, of course, black doesn't do that. King, and now rook takes knight, even though you could have taken the knight with your queen. Rook back. There you go. H5. Knight jumps into G4. Oh, okay. Queen to A3. King to H4. Queen here. And that's the end. Black won on time. Oh, wait. Yeah, okay. So white just used a bunch of time trying not to get checkmated and then lost that time. Oh man. Not seeing pawn takes here and bishop here. Like, what do you think is going to happen? They're going to take the bishop. And then you're like, if you're trying not to move your king, you're still going to have to move your king. What level do you have to be to play bishop c3 here? That's crazy. And then here with you play this move in 7 seconds and not see that your queen is hanging? And then not seeing that the knight was hanging here. Yeah, I'm thinking 700-800 on Lichess. Um, maybe should we go 600-700 or 700-800? Bishop C3 is just so crazy. I'm gonna go 600-700. All right, let's take a look. 570. Nice. Okay. So let's see. We got not bad. So I guess 600-700, and the actual rating was 570. It was pretty close. And for those of you wanting to look up the games later, I have them visible on. I have the identifiers visible on screen. You can plug those into Lichess and look up the games yourself. Um, all right. Next game. Okay. So we got E3. Oh boy. This this is gonna be a great game. Look at this pawn structure. Oh boy. Okay. E3. Flip the board. E3. E5. G3. Knight. F6. H4. H6. That move does nothing. H5? Are you kidding? You, H5, really? Wow. Okay, black is already much better because of development. Okay, so knight c6. Bro, do you hate your dark squared bishop or something? What is going on with these pawns? See, now what black should do is just play d5, bring out the bishop, maybe bring out the queen, and start assaulting the light squares because white has made such a light squared weakness here. Yeah, top engine move is d5. That's d5. Sorry, top engine move is d5. Uh, bishop e7, bishop e2, castles uh, g4. Okay. and pawn takes because you can. And of course, we don't take towards the center. We take away from the center and open up our king. Oh my god. Now we play d5. Oh my. White has played exactly one piece move in the first 9 moves of the game. 10, actually, because they played b3 next. It's like they don't even know they have anything other than pawns and maybe a bishop. This is absolutely ridiculous. Okay, so h5, uh, a4, a5, b3, bishop f5, and yeah, you put your knight there. Queen out. Very good. This is good play by black. Um, as- I guess because all of your pawns are on dark squares, but that just puts your rook into a corner. It's not a good trade. And on top of that, it's a meaningless trade. Wait. Oh, I see. So you wanted to play bishop here, but you saw that it was attacked twice, so you put your queen there. Which is why you moved your bishop there first. Okay. And of course, you don't remember that any of your other pieces exist. So you move the pawn up. And now it's -3.5. Material is even, but White's position is just that bad. Look at this pawn structure. By the way, this is attacked twice now. And I bet black takes the pawn because that's why they played bishop there. Um, but it's not even the best move because queen here targets his weak pawn, and there you have to do something like king f2. Oh wait, it's a fork between this pawn and the rook. So I think after queen here, the best move is to take the bishop and lose the rook. And if you try and play rook back, there's queen here. And king f1, and you're in some deep trouble here. What does black play? Yeah, black takes the pawn. That's what I thought would happen. Okay. And white kicks the bishop, and the bishop just goes back. What is that move? What is rook h4? That move does nothing. What? What? Why? Yeah, now queen, because knight you're it's an indirect fork, right? You're forking the rook and forking the fork between the king and rook. You're forking the fork. uh, um, oof. And yeah. Uh, so white sees that the rook is hanging, and then black goes and takes the other rook. Pawn up, pawn up again. Wow. Look at black taking his pawn and not moving the bishop back because this is checkmate. It's not a particularly good move because you just trade off one of your attackers, but uh, it's fancy. Okay. Bruh, what is this? What is this? You had the option of taking a free bishop or not taking the free bishop and hanging your own in one move. These people are crazy. Absolutely bonkers. And of course, black takes the bishop. What is that move even trying to accomplish? I'm surprised it's not given a blunder by Lichess. Seriously, that is an awful move. Okay, and now the queen just takes the pawn, and wow, wow. Okay, wait, what? Did black just accidentally play the best move here? Oh, I see. So when you do this, you're doing danger levels, right? You're going after the queen. Like if you take my queen, I'm gonna take yours, but this is check, and then you just take the queen for free. Um, so black takes the rook, king take, bishop take, knight move. Oh, and black just straight up hangs two pieces. Hangs a rook. Fantastic. And the best move for black in this position is actually not to take the knight. It's to take the pawn. And it's still like -10 here. Oh my god. Okay, so bishop takes, uh, king takes, rook over, Wow, look at this king. It's like you've got four pawns versus seven, and a knight versus knight and rook. Rook goes down, knight here. Okay, black decides to hang another rook, and white says, "Nah, I'm not gonna take the rook. I'm gonna take the pawn, because that's why I put the knight there." And this is 10 plus 5. They both have more than 3 minutes left on the clock. So this is just tunnel vision. Like, come on. And of course, like, black forgets they have a knight, and white just starts munching pawns. Nice move by white protecting the pawn here. Okay, now what white should do is um it's like -5 here because you're still down a rook, but white should put everything they have in trying to get this pawn to promote. That's the only kind of advantage they have. What? Why? Are you do you just hate your queenside pawns? Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay, white is playing this pretty well so far. Wow, now it's mating six. Um, I guess what I mean it's losing no matter what, right? Um, I guess yeah, black goes there, white goes here, here, and oh no, why would you I guess you can't go here because there's this checkmate. Um, but now black just makes it queen, and it's there's still this checkmate. But black makes a queen, white takes the rook, of course. Now black finds this. They couldn't do that a minute ago. Um, okay. Queen goes to g2, king back, knight over, king over. Come on. Okay, at least I understand the thought process here. They're thinking, oh, I can take this pawn because it's a discovered check, not really realizing the king can take to get out of check. Okay, now pawn push. Uh-oh. 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 Oh, okay. Clutch. So queen goes back to g5 to guard the promotion square. And now the knight wants to come over here and guard the promotion square. So that move makes sense. Um, okay. What? Why are you going there? Yeah, that just hangs the knight and the pawn. Oh my god. Yep, and black finds it. White walks the other way. Uh, okay. Wow, you can't take the knight because then they promote. Yeah, promote with check. Oof. Now it's anybody's game, really. Like, computer says -5, but like at this level, that doesn't really mean anything. No one knows how to play endgames. The queen here, queen check. King comes out. Now the king starts walking forward again. Queen gives a check. The king moves up. The queen moves up. The king moves up again. You're trying to guide these pawns to the end. Guide these pawns to the end. Ooh, nice find by black. Now the king has to go back. Check. King goes back. Wait, you're repeating moves? Okay. Black is not repeating moves. Wise choice? Oh, there's this check to trade off the queen, and then black can just push. Wait, black? No, yeah. Okay, black has two connected pawns here, and these pawns are never getting through because of this guy. So trading off the queens is the best move. And of course, black doesn't do that. Instead, goes to f3, and the reason why this is so good is it pins the pawn to the queen. Um, Although, yeah, that's not an easy move to see, though. It makes sense that you would go queen g3. Okay, king f7, king b6, pawn push, queen to c7 check, king g6. Okay, what's your plan with queen c1? Are you going to let them promote and trade queens and then just be down a queen again? What's your plan? You gotta keep giving checks. At this point, white wants a draw. So you gotta keep giving checks. Okay. So they promote to a queen. Let me guess. Yeah. Queen trade. Awful. Okay. King takes pawn. What is queen a1? Are you, are you, are you trying to do this? I don't understand. Alright, so pawn up, of course. Oh no. Okay, it's still winning though, because like you're going to white is going to promote this pawn, you're going to trade, and then black still has one pawn they're going to promote. But it just makes it a lot harder. You have to go like here or here to get behind the pawn to not let it promote. Um, yeah. So queen takes pawn, pawn push, queen to d7. Okay, now black can just get in front of the pawn and then push this one, and it's game over. White had to go here to have a chance. Um, and yeah, black goes there, here. Come on, you gotta go here. Get behind the pawn so it can't promote. Then start pushing this one. What are you trying to do? There you go. That works too. Yep. King here. What? That must have been a mouse slip. That must have been a mouse slip. Oh no. Oh, okay. If black had pushed the pawn, it would be a draw. How crazy would that be to be a queen or maybe two up and then draw the game? Okay. You're not going to go here to. Okay. It's still winning though because you have opposition. No! No! Oh my God. Why would you do that? This is inexcusable. You've got a minute and a half left on the clock. You should not be doing this. You had to play king back to keep opposition. Oh my God. And of course, white blunders the endgame right back. And let me guess, black is going to play pawn up. And we're going to be back in a draw. Yep. Here. This is awful. Oh my God. Imagine being a queen or two up and then losing or stalemating in a winning pawn endgame. and like not even in time trouble. This is so crazy. How long did it take them to play G4? 4 seconds. No, 9 seconds. It took them 9 seconds to play G4. Oh my god. Okay, so clearly these guys don't know end games at all. Um, guys don't know end games, and like White just got destroyed, and then somehow ended up drawing the game. Um, okay, what is what are we thinking? What are we thinking? Based on this opening, I would say probably 700 for chess.com. So probably 900 to 1,000 for Lichess. Um, and like, yeah, this is so weird. Not knowing the end games at all or end game patterns. We saw a couple forks, which is decent. So yeah, I'm thinking 900 to 1,000. That's what I'm gonna say. Yes, yes, 1,075. Let's go. 1,075. I'm so good at this. 1,075. Okay. Um, let's see. This one, 1,075. Here we are. Oh man. Okay, we've done three so far. We'll do a couple more. Okay. D4, D5, D4, D5, E3, Bishop D7. Oh, okay. So immediately I'm thinking like low four digits at most. This you want to play here on C4. You don't want this pawn trapped behind your knight. What is this? Come on. Queen C8? Are you kidding me? What are you gonna fianchetto the queen? What is this? What is this? Okay. Well, and knight f3. Of course, you block in your own bishop and your knight at with the same move, because that makes perfect sense. And you're moving the same piece twice in the opening. Fantastic. Okay. Oh man. Come on. Do they see queen h5? Queen h5, knight g6, queen takes rook. Yes. Yes, they found it. Okay. So black moves the king, but now you've simply got this fork. Yeah. Black moves the king, then gets forked, and then moves right because it's check. But why would you move to a safe place when you can stare back at the bomb that's right next to you and uh go hug it? And now it's discovered check. Uh, and now pawn up. Yeah, the knight just takes the pawn. Pawn takes, queen takes. Oh man, and then king goes back, and then you lose the knight. Wow, this is just fantastic. Now you go to c7. You couldn't have done that before. No, that would be good for you. You can't have that. Okay, I don't hate h4. Trying to push the pass outside pass pawn. All right. Okay, queen back check. Yeah. King moves out of the way. Come on, just push the h pawn. What are you trying to do? That doesn't do anything. Okay, I guess white is a genius because they knew they would move black would move the king back into the line of fire. What is this? What is this? Come on. Why would you do that? Now you just lose the bishop. It's like black trying to lose all their pieces. So this is a 5 minute game, and black still has 4 minutes left on the clock after move 15. They're not playing Blitz. That's why they're playing so poorly. They're playing Bullet, but in Blitz, and then getting destroyed. On forward, king comes out. Now it's just mate because of this, and then like here and here and here. But of course, white doesn't see that. White takes the bishop, which is completely normal. And mate, there you go. And king, and then you You protect the knight. You so you're 9 points of material up. Why are you so afraid of losing this horse? Where where's the king gonna go? Where's the king gonna go? If you play here, and if you play here, and they take all of the retreat squares are covered, you just play pawn there. King goes here, and where's the mate? I guess. Uh, hmm. Actually, bishop d2, king takes. Ah, you have to play a3 so that you have to play a3 so that b3 is checkmate. Of course, it's still mate in 4 if you play b3. Yeah, so they play b3 right away, and it's still mate in 6. And now it's mate in 1. But of course, white doesn't play it. No, we're gonna push the h pawn, because why not? And now it's why is it no longer mate? Well, is it because of pawn b5? There's no way they see that though, right? Yeah, no way they see that. Okay, and we're still ignoring mates in however many. Bishop comes here. Now we play bishop. Yeah, okay. Um, okay. Now we play h7. We're so obsessed with just promoting in the mid game. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now? Yo, what? You were so obsessed with promoting that you didn't see that it could just be taken. No. Why? Why would you do this? And of course, black doesn't take it. Okay. So definitely thinking three digits. Um, queen promotes is just terrible. Or H promotes is just terrible. Um, wait. Apparently there's some mate in 8 if the queen takes, but they definitely didn't see that. Um, okay, queen c7. And let me guess. Queen takes rook? Not even. Wow. Okay. And now it's black. It's like, wait, no, I actually do want to trade. Okay, bishop takes, pawn takes. Wait, there's a queen stack here. Queen takes, king takes, pawn, check. Can't go there. Can't go here because of the bishop. So it has to go back. How does this work? Queen takes, king takes, queen f2. What? That is like some insane engine move here. Like, I would probably play c3 here, mate in 5, and then what's the idea? The queen g4 to go here. Alright, that makes a certain amount of sense. Okay, but anyway, there's no way they sack the queen. They what? How? How did they find that move? Oh god. Black actually wins this game on time. But that is just a genius level move. Along 2 seconds. Wow. They do actually play that. And then king takes, and then they play queen g4 and king a3 and lose on time. Wow. That is so disappointing. That is so disappointing. Okay, alright. So let's see what we got. Black was just terrible in the opening. To allow this and then walk themselves into danger not once but twice. And then white white does this, even though black can just take and be up the. I guess it's still a rook for our queen. Still, it's not a great trade there. Um, but then black doesn't even take it. Oh gosh. But other than that, white played a really decent game. And these knight moves aren't great. You want to play c4. Okay, so I'm thinking 11 to 1200. There's no piece blunders. Some tunnel vision here on the H file. Um, and then time trouble. Yeah, 11 to 1200. That's what I'm saying. Let's take a look. Okay, so let's see here. Wow, 598. That wasn't. Great game. That was such a good game. Yeah, both White played at 93% accuracy. Black played at 81. Um, and they're both 600 rated. That's incredible. All right, let's continue. One more game. One more game. All right. Let's see. Okay, we got a Queen's game. D4, D5, Knight F3, E6. Okay, G3, very good. Knight F6, nice. Bishop G2, Bishop E7, castle, castle. So far, amazing. Wow, fantastic. So far, like completely theory. And then, okay, now take. Okay, I don't hate it. I think taking with the pawn is probably better. Get your bishop out. Um, yeah, taking with the pawn is better. Here, here, and then you make this move. I guess it helps development a little bit. It does allow queen b6 though. Of course, they don't play it. Okay, they somehow find the best move. Okay, knight comes out, c3, knight trade, bishop, queen e7, beautiful. Queen c2, bishop d7, knight e5, knight takes e5, bishop takes e5, bishop b5, and then black just hangs a bishop. Oh, I see. The idea is if takes, then takes. Wow. Okay. But why isn't this good for black? Or why isn't this good for white? Ah, because that hangs this pawn with tempo. What? Come on. That What is you planning on going there? Hey, wow, that's an amazing find. Okay. Um, bishop takes rook. Oh, but you have to take the bishop because otherwise it's mate. Incredible. Okay. So already I'm thinking like higher rated than I am. And then king takes bishop and white is just down a rook. But Lichess is saying the stockfish is saying it's equal. I guess there must be a forced draw here, right? So queen g5, king h8, queen f6. Yeah, okay, there's a forced draw here. And that's what happens in the game too. Okay. Wow. That was an amazing game. Oh, that was an amazing game. Put in the wrong the put it in the wrong board. One sec. Um we C2. This could be like 2000 to 2400. I don't have a lot of information to go on here. Spotting those tactics was really good. I did not I did not even see bishop takes g7, and it was the best move. And then taking the bishop with the rook instead of taking the other rook, pretty cool too. Like you had to have seen that forced draw, right? In order to see bishop takes, otherwise you're just hanging mate or an exchange. That actually makes me think 23, 2400, maybe 2500. And white just makes one inaccuracy, and wow. Okay. Yeah, 24 to 2500. That's what I'm saying. 2295. Wasn't that far off. Okay. Um, go here. Oh my. There we go. All right. So 2400 to 2500, and it was 2295. Excellent. And that's all 5 games. Yeah, 3 out of 5 correct. Okay. Uh, we will